So before anything else, I will ask you, if you haven't done it so far, is to write on a paper exactly what you expect this course, what you would like this course to bring to you. And for different people, it's going to be different things. But what I have noticed, if people don't have a goal for something that they do, and in this case, it's a course, they usually don't achieve it. Everybody starts long courses with a lot of bravado and interest and willing to learn, and then life happens and things fade away. If you don't have goal established, you're probably not going to reach it. But if you're going to say, from this course, I want to elevate my skill, I want to bring prosperity to my business, very important, I will repeat it over and over again. If you don't have a lot of clients and if you don't have lucrative business, you have very expensive hobby. And it's unsatisfying to have very expensive hobby. So the most successful you are, I love the dog, the more successful you are, you actually bring better quality results to your clients because you know what you're working for, you know what you give, and you know what to take. And I'm a very big believer that manual professionals have to have very good and comfortable life because it's our energy we deliver into soft tissues of our clients' faces. So if you don't have a comfortable life, if you're worried, and we will be talking about it, then you're not going to be able to be as relaxed and as good of a, you're not going to deliver as good of a facial. This particular facial is based more on energy exchange, of course, knowledge. Knowledge is very important. The sequence, what goes after what, how much pressure you apply, why you're doing what you're doing. But most important thing for me was when I was putting this system together was to preserve my own body. It started from there. I was working a lot, I was taking a lot of clients, and I was exhausted by the end of the day. I also had a toddler and a baby, there was so much was going on. And now I'm going to perimenopause. I'm constantly tired, So for me, it was very important to put together treatment that would be very giving and very effective on the client's face, yet very preservant of my health, of my physical health. My girls who took in-person course know that I have broken my finger, my thumb recently. So this is the healthy one and this is the broken one. And they witnessed it was a broken thumb. I still taught the class for 2 days straight. The girls who took 2-day class, it. And I can perform facials because it's not about heavy physical labor. It's about know-how, it's about knowing sequence, it's about knowing human soft hard tissues, it's about connecting to the client. And then you're going to get results. So it's not about killing yourself. I find the course online the most important and most productive one. So the girls who already took in-person course, please don't look at it lightly. For me, it's extremely important course because 2 days, even 7 days is not 1 month of consistent connection. As I told you, we're all going to go on the WhatsApp chat. You're going to send your work. I'm going to be correcting your work. You're going to see me correcting other people. You're going to hear their questions, the ones that you might not think about, but when they bring it up, you're like, oh my God, that's why this is happening. So online course for me is the most important and most productive modality. So the girls who already took in-person course 2 days, and the girls who are about to visit me for in-person 1-day course, take this course very seriously. Please don't think, oh, I'm going to see her in person, so it doesn't matter. It matters because the day goes very quickly and 2 days go very quickly. And we don't have time to talk during those 2 days. You have questions that I cannot answer because I need to see your work. Here, you solidify your knowledge, and you will see, you're going to send me little videos of your work and I will be able to be laser focused on you, which is the most important thing. So today's Zoom is orientation Zoom. Basically, I'm telling you how to use this course, what I expect from you, or how you ask me questions, and absolutely most important thing is to find ourselves on that WhatsApp. So please, please, please send me your on Instagram, okay? Otherwise, I'm not going to see it. On Instagram, your hi, and then I'm going to send you, and we're going to get on WhatsApp. So the course is going to have 5 Zooms. Today's orientation, then we're going to have concentration Zoom. It's extremely important Zoom because without concentration, you're not going to be able to perform this facial correctly. The next Zoom is going to be client communication and facial exercises. So in this particular system, it's very important for us to give our clients exercises to maintain the work that you do in your room. Without those exercises, it's going to be very difficult for them to maintain the work, and I will send you those exercises in a WhatsApp chat. So in the WhatsApp chat, you're going to have those exercises and we're going to talk about them. Then we're going to have a skincare Zoom, which is, I have a lot of LMTs in here. And usually my LMTs don't pay attention to skincare Zoom, but it's so important because you through skin. So kind of dismissing the skin is not a very good idea. And the last Zoom is going to be social media Zoom. I'm a huge believer in social media. I made my whole business on social media. And if not social media, right now, I would be probably doing my facials, of course, but I would take about 5 to 7 people a day. Sometimes I take 10 people a day, actually, because I needed to make up the finances as a single mother, these 2 boys. I needed to make up my finances to keep my ends meet. What really helped me in my profession was social media. But social media has to be conducted properly. It's not that easy because it takes so much time and so much effort. I consistently take courses on social media to learn how to teach you about it better and better and better. So we are going to have social media Zoom. Girls, this is very important. This is probably the most important. After you're going to complete this course with me, and the girls who already took in person, you guys don't have to do it. However, if you have any questions about the moves, please send me videos. But the girls who take an online course, after you're going to complete the course with me, I'm going to take you in front of my social media audience. At the moment, we have 333, 34, maybe 32, I'm not sure, but 330 plus thousand followers. Those are real followers. So when I take your work, depending on your geolocation, clearly in New York, you're going to get more clients than in Nebraska. But even in Nebraska, you're going to get clients from that exposure. Bringing clients has huge importance for me. And that's why this course was designed in a way that I teach you first, and then I supply you with clients. That's why I consistently invest in my Instagram so I could have real followers who are really interested in this method, right? So after you're going to complete the course, but I have to see every single move you make. This is very important. So if you are in my online course only, I will send you a sample. I'll ask you to record yourself and send to me the portion of recording so I could correct you if I need to. We could tweak things if we need to. And then we are going to put you in the front of big audience so you guys would get clients. So this course is actually teaching you how to do things and then supplying you with opportunity to do it on people. Otherwise, it's very expensive hobby. And we need to have a real job. So once you're going to get on our WhatsApp, I will send you many links. I want you to know something about those links because I personally have unfollowed people because I have lost credibility. Every word I have is a sales. Every link that I send you, it's my recommendation because I like the product. I'm not selling it. I'm not affiliated. I'm not associated. And I don't have a single penny from if you buy it or not. It wouldn't matter financially to me at all. So why I'm telling you that? Because as people, we have this apprehensive kind of thing. Oh, she's selling it. I sell courses. So I'm not a holy person here who does things voluntarily. Not at all. I sell my courses all the time. You will be selling your facials. I will be selling your facials through my social media. But The links that I sent you, if I tell you that I like a tripod, or I like the product, or I like the cotton, or whatever I'm telling you, I'm not associated, I'm not affiliated, I just like the product and I want you to know about it, because I think that you're gonna have less, if you know that fact, you're gonna have less apprehension of trying the things that are good, because we're all human and I always factor the human nature in everything I do. So in our WhatsApp chats, I hopefully gonna receive your work. I'm gonna correct your work in detail. After I see every single thing you do, and we have corrected it, only then I will be able to showcase you on my social media. Because every time I bring people on social media, I take part of the responsibility of your work upon me. That's why I need to know that you're doing it correctly, because I'm very careful with taking responsibility on things. There's a lot of people, and if something is not going to be right, they're going to come after me. I'll be honest with you, they're going to come after me even if things are done right. Once you're going to get on the social media, you will understand that. People come after you when you're doing something wrong. People come after you when you're doing something right. People just come after you. But we will talk about social media, and it wouldn't, it doesn't matter. What matters is the people who will love you, and they're people who will appreciate what you do for them. With this particular modality, we're not only fixing how people look, we really, really impact how people feel. This is a part of this course. This is part of training. And that feeling carries on what they get from the facial. So it's extremely powerful. And how we're going to do it, we're going to definitely talk about it. So the first part of our training, and I will ask you one thing, please, like if you are online learning and if you haven't done the in-person, you cannot do it, but if you're learning online, do not jump ahead. So the first email you got, it was whole 4 weeks, right? Do not go through all of them. Do just 1 week at a time. And remember that what you have in your curriculum, it's just a moment. The real learning, and it takes learning, really happens through the Zoom and inside the room, right? So it's been proven by scientists, not by me, but I take a lot of psychology and teaching courses, and this is how I know this information, that any new information that comes across your brain for the first time, you only can observe 35% of it. So by watching the Zoom once, by watching movement once, you have this much out of it. I will ask you to watch the Zoom. Hear the Zoom, you don't have to watch it. Let it play. Your subconscious mind is going to record it at least 3 times to get all the information, because there's going to be a lot of information in this course. This course is packed with information, and I don't want you to lose anything out of it, because everything is important. As I told you, like I'm giving you not just movements, but the whole business. You can take anything you want out of it, or you can, take the whole thing, but give it a try and you will see that it's going to impact your work a lot. As we are going to learn moves, and as you're going to send me the moves, let's say we learned the lymphatic drainage, and let's say Elizabeth has sent to me the video of her doing lymphatic drainage, and we fixed it, we corrected it, we realized it's great, implement it in your facial. So you have to warm up your current clients to what is coming up. You're taking this course, you're doing the education, so you have to tell to your current client, you know what, I'm taking a course right now, and it's going to be this manual facelift course, and we just trained on lymphatic drainage, and my trainer has seen everything, and she corrected me. If you would like, I want to show you what it feels like. It feels amazing. A, it feels amazing. B, it really helps you with the result of the facial. So do not be hesitant. But as I saw your work, okay, don't just do it. Send me work first on WhatsApp. Let me watch it. Let us go through corrections. And once we know that you did it right, introduce it to your client right away. Do not wait until you're going to finish the course and then you're going to promote yourself. Waiting killed so many opportunities. I cannot even tell you. My girls are waiting for the perfect time. They took a course, they're still waiting until they do this right and that right. This is not how it works. I've been waiting. I would have been way ahead of where I am right now if I didn't wait it so long. So you learn something, it was approved right away, bring it to your clients for free. Absolutely for free. Say, hey, this is what I've learned. It gives you lots of benefits. Let's do it today. She will love it. Even the first move. My girls who did the in-person course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Initial lymphatic breathing. This is such a relaxing move. Always do lymphatic first. We're going to be talking about this right now. So this is overall, and now we can talk about the course curriculum. I would love to hear if so far anybody has a question.
No, no questions.
So far, no questions. Nobody. Okay. So going straight to the method. The method has 4 parts, and the sequence of this part is extremely important. Number 1 is aesthetic lymphatic drainage. LMTs, you don't have to worry about it at all. Aestheticians, you cannot say word lymphatic drainage. You have to say aesthetic lymphatic drainage. People will come after you and say you should not be doing lymphatic drainage. Girls, if we're not going to do it, we're not going to have results on her face. In the end of the facial, she has to look fresher, more lifted, more youthful. And if you're not going to reduce the water from her face, she's not going to look fresher, more lifted, more youthful. Now, I have to tell you something. I received a couple of days ago pictures before and after from one of my students who took a course before she started. She said, look, I had my she was waiting until she puts together her place. She's in Germany. And she sent me pictures. She did a good job on the client, a really good job. Client looked by far fresher and youthful on after picture. But underneath, she wrote to me, listen to this. She said, I see the difference. I see that she looks more youthful. I cannot point what it is. And I see that she still has wrinkles. Girls, this is not a plastic surgery. She will have wrinkles. I actually had a plastic surgery on my eyes. I was removing the filler that was stuck, and I still have wrinkles, right? So even plastic surgery is not going to give you 18-year-old look on 51-year-old face. So please don't expect to remove the wrinkles, erase everything, and for her to be like this. This is a job of plastic surgeons. However, how many times, picture it in your head right now, you've seen women, my age, 50 plus, who are completely tired, clearly with plastic surgery, and they look their age and older. That happens all the time. They don't look any younger, they just look tighter. So the before and after picture that my students sent me, the mother looked younger, but she didn't look entirely tighter. Why did she look younger? Because she brought the soft tissues to utmost effectiveness in her face. We will talk about it. We're going to go into biology, definitely. But I just want to give you the understanding. So clients, after this facial, they look younger. Maybe not tighter. We're not going to erase their wrinkle, especially girls under our eyes, it's really difficult. I mean, we all have, you see all that, but they're gonna look more useful and they're gonna look more fresher. And very often I hear from people, I feel like weight has been lifted off me. Weight, because there is so much pressure. We will talk about the TMJ contraction of the teeth. We will talk about all of that. This is just orientation. I want you to wrap your head around exactly what's going to happen in this training and exactly what's happening with this facial. So they will look fresher. Now, why do we add, we're going to have separate Zoom about it, facial exercises to it, because we want them to maintain that freshness. During the facial, you're gonna take a lot of stress from her physically. There is one book that I'm gonna send you a link to. It's a free on YouTube, and it's called Body Keeps the Score. If you don't know that book, it's actually a psychology book, but it's extremely important for us as manual professional. It shows you and tells you that fascia holds the information, and stress and trauma actually is held up in our muscles. And even though when it goes away, the trauma itself, our muscles keep the grimace, that contraction in it. We are able to go into the faces, go inside the mouth and take it out. It's a very powerful thing. But she's with us for 1 hour. And the amount that we can do during that 1 hour is colossal. We can take so much stress from her. We can make her youthful, fresher, younger looking. But when she will come out, she will face the world again. Her ex-husband is going to call and say he's not going to pick up the kid and she needs to go to work. Her boss is going to call. I don't know. If she's a esthetician, for example, the front desk is going to tell her that they messed up the schedule. So many things can go on. And what happens? Right away, her muscles go back into the grimace that she had. So the world is going to work against us. What do we need to do to make sure that her results are lasting? We need to give her exercises that she's going to do for 15 minutes a day to remove partially the pressure that world puts on her. Because stress gives us more aging than anything else, right? So this is where exercises come to the picture. So far, any questions? I can go portion by portion. Anything I need to answer so far? I don't think so. So the whole facial, what is it about? Rejuvenation of a soft tissue and the hard tissue. With every part of the facial, and there are 4 of them, we have agenda, very clear agenda in mind. In this facial, one of the things that was the most difficult for me as a young esthetician was I would do the facial and then I would have 15 minutes dangling on top of me and I wouldn't know what to do with them. And I would do like some silly things, put the mask, like Here, every second you know what you're doing. You're not going to have dangling 15 minutes on top of you. You know what you're doing, you know what the agenda is, you know how to do it, you know what are you looking for from each move. So it's very important. As I told you, sequence is the most important thing. You're not going to be able to have a nice looking garment if you're going to iron it before you wash it. Always think like this. Think of laundry all the time. If you're not going to wash it, then iron it, you're not going to have a good garment. If you're going to do buccal massage before lymphatic drainage, you're not going to have good outcome. So sequence is very important. And we're starting with aesthetic lymphatic drainage. LNTs, for you, it's a lymphatic drainage. Estheticians, for you, it's a aesthetic lymphatic drainage. But we do the exact same thing. So, who already does lymphatic drainage here? No one so far? No? Fantastic, because I don't have to reteach you. I love that. Why do we need lymphatic drainage done on the face? And one, it's the first thing we do. Because the pockets of stuck fluid, and usually it's not a clean fluid, make face very uneven and usually bottom heavy. When you store fluid in here, you look bottom heavy. When bottom becomes heavy, it drags all the soft tissues downwards and you look aged. So the number one thing you need to do on a client's face is to make sure that you're moving the stuck fluid away from her face. Lymphatic drainage is always done with a very wide head. Because lymphatic nodule, the lymph nodes that are all over our body, but we're talking face right now, they're very superficially placed. Imagine that they are little depots that collect the fluid, put the fluid through filtration. The clean fluid from this depot is going to blood formation. The fluid that wasn't clean, that has toxic waste into it. And of course, in our extracellular matrix in the body, we have a lot of toxic waste. We breathe it, we eat it, right? And so much toxicity is in you right now, right? Because so much is in the air. So lymphatic system is like a sewer of our body. We have 2 systems. circulatory system, blood and lymphatic. Blood is lucky. Blood has heart. Heart is pumping, blood is going. The lymphatic system has no heart. So you move lymphatic system by movement and by breath. When you breathe, you move lymphatic fluid. Fluid moves very, very slowly. Lymphatic system absorbs the fluid, puts it through the depots, lymph nodes. Fluid gets filtrated in the lymph nodes, partially goes into blood formation, partially goes into extracellular matrix in the fluid, and you reduce it with the urination. So it's kind of quite simple. Those nodes are placed very superficially in our body. And if you're going to press too much, you're going to do under the clavicle, you're going to do over the clavicle. If you're going to press too hard, nothing bad's going to happen. It's going to burst out. And you're not going to be able to move the fluid. What we need to be water benders. We need to move the fluid. And you have to feel it underneath your fingertips. In the beginning, you're not going to. So what exercise I need you to do this week to be able to work this lymphatic fluid? Everything you touch, this is a glasses, this is a computer mouse, everything you touch, I want you to feel texture, temperature, what it feels like. What does it do? It makes your fingertips extremely sensitive to the touch. You need to identify always with your fingertips what you're touching, because facial work is very, very delicate. And you need to feel things with lymphatic fluid that goes underneath the skin. You need to feel, am I moving her fluid? Is it? And I promise you will feel it. But for that, you have to have a sensitive skin that identify things. Most people, most estheticians, and I don't know about LMTs, I cannot talk about you guys, but estheticians, we are not taught in our schools to work the fingertips, to get to know your fingertips, to get to know the texture, the temperature. As esthetician, you need to be able, like when you touch the skin, let's say a person comes, rosacea, cuperous, there could be so many things on top of skin. When you're going to look at her, they all look the same. It's by touching her when you know the difference. Cuperous and rosacea can look exactly identical, and you have to treat them differently. But once you touch her skin, you know what she has. This is why our fingertips have to be very sensitive. In this case, it's for lymphatic drainage. Everything you touch, I'm going to give you several exercises during the course of the month, but this particular week, girls, everything you touch, feel it, feel it. And when you're going to work and you're going to exercise your hands, feel what you're doing. Girls work very slowly. This is a slow and light motion. First cleanse, I need to be very quick, very light. Why? Because you don't want to disturb lymph nodes. The second cleanse you can do stronger, but the first cleanse, very quick, very light. What I noticed, the biggest mistake that I notice all the time, I'm very old-fashioned trainer, so just bear with me, but I promise it works. I see a lot of people remove their hands during the working on a client. You have to maintain consistent contact with your client. Now, clearly, if you take a towel from the cabinet, you're not going to be able to take it with your teeth. You're going to leave her, take it, and bring it back there. But while you work on her, I need at least one of your hands to be on her. First cleanse, big one. First cleanse, light and quick. Light and quick. Towels. I don't use heat on the skin at all. My towels are kind of cold. I know not everybody loves it, but why? Because cold is contractive and heat is expensive. We want to contract the muscles right away. Remember, we're doing lifting facial in there, right? It's a lifting facial. You want to contract, you want to lift, you want to contract. Cool room temperature, but please don't use hot. Because hot is going to relax the muscle and the skin. And I want it up. So, first class, first week of training. Right now we're going through the curriculum. Very important. First week of training, first class. Quick, light, Full towel. Number one motion, breathing lymphatic. For breathing lymphatic, I need your client to be as flat as possible. Right after that, if you want to put bolster underneath her knees, if you want to breathe, no problem. But for that particular, I need her flat because we're moving the fluid. The first movement, we're going inwards in her chest. Why I'm repeating things that I have sent to you? Because I promise you, it makes more sense to you when you already heard about it. Once you see it right away, it's like, oh, but once you've heard about it, right away you understand what I'm talking about. Your learning experience becomes faster and more in depth. So bear with me. You pressure on her lightly, 20%. She needs to, your hand has to be on her sternum. Your fingertips can come out a little bit, but mostly hands on her sternum. And you're gonna push your hands forward, showing the fluid, the trajectory, or where it needs to go. If the client is thick, you can do it 6 times. But for most clients, please don't do more than 4. 4. Thicker face, 6, but don't overdo it. After that, we're gonna go straight under the clavicle, then we're gonna go over the clavicle, and then we're gonna go underneath her mandible. Girls, when you're gonna move the, and I will be really looking for that, because in here, you're gonna be draining into her armpits. I need very soft hands. So take a pillow at home and practice your hands. A lot of people's hands are not very flexible. Stretch your hands. Put one hand in front, the other hand here, and literally stretch them. I need you to have flexible hands. In fact, before you start your treatment, as I will send you the facial exercises, it's very important for me for you to try them on yourselves. So I'll send them to you today. Start doing them on yourself. You will not be able to recommend something with the real emotion. You know, only 20% of our communication is verbal. 80% of our communication is non-verbal. People feel you. People feel what you say. So if you're going to tell her with your mouth, oh, this exercise, they're great, it means nothing. But if you did them and you experienced them, and if you know they're great, the way you're going to offer them to her is going to be a whole new level. So exercises are going to be sent to you tomorrow, actually, not today. And I'll tell you why. Because unfortunately, in WhatsApp, as you join, you're not going to see what happened before. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? So if let's say Jessica joined WhatsApp and she's seen everything, and then Rebecca joined after her, Rebecca is not going to see what Jessica saw. You understand what I'm saying? So I will wait for all of you to join. I have a really big group, but usually not everybody joins. But I will wait 24 hours before I'm going to start sending you information for you to see it. Otherwise, I will have to keep reposting the same links, and it's going to be mega annoying for you. Not that it's not going to happen, because I have had situations when girls have joined a week later. That happens too, but I try to diminish it. So I'm going to start posting tomorrow morning. I'm going to give 24 hours for people to join WhatsApp group. In that group, I'm going to send you the whole series of facial exercises. Keep in mind, I did them more than 10 years ago. I look very fresh, young, and slender in there. But over 10 years, they really, I didn't have to redo them. They work. And start to apply them on yourself. Rebecca, I think you had, maybe not. I think it was you who asked me the question. The week 1 of facial exercises, week 1, is the one that you need to do for yourself. Warning, very strong warning. If you have vertigo, I have vertigo, and that's why I'm speaking from experience. Be very careful, sit, still do the exercises, but do them carefully and slowly. Because you know the little crystals, they move and they can make you storm. So I'm not telling you not to do exercises though. Just sit on a very comfortable chair. Have your support and still do exercises. And if you feel that you're storming a little bit, it's probably your crystals are misbehaving at the moment, but they're gonna come together. So that's very important. Otherwise, you're never gonna have problem with this particular exercise. So big number one is very important for estheticians to do on a daily basis. Why? Because girls, I'll ask you to record yourself while you work, you're gonna be mortified how you look. Most of us like this, the shoulders are up like this, the tension in our wrists. My face is usually like this because I'm tensing. We are cramped, we are like a cat that is in contraction. It's very unhealthy for our body. It's a terrible thing for us. Our profession, if you not look after ourselves, is very dangerous for human body. You sit consistently, you usually sit from one side, we have a dominant side, and we usually work from dominant side. That's why I will ask you girls, if you already don't look on a saddleback chair, I'll send you a link, look into the saddleback chair. During the work, I need you to stand, sit, stand, sit. I need you to switch your biodynamics. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like me with a tilted pelvis. Yours truly has in here. Scoliosis, yours truly has in here. And you know what happens with a tilted pelvis scoliosis? You get asymmetry in your face. Right? It all shows up in your face at some point. So our profession, if we're really not looking after ourselves, can be very, very dangerous. Watch your posture. Do the exercises I'm going to send you every day. We're going to get to the wrists in a second. Get yourself saddleback chair. Invest in saddleback chair. You all need it, I promise you. Once I bought saddleback chair from overstock.com, though, it was very, very short. So I'm gonna send you the measurements to look for, so you won't waste $140 I paid for it, and complete waste, right? When I'm asking you to sit, and when I'm asking you to stand. Why am I so adamant about it? Because of your body dynamics, because of your health. Measure your table. You need to be able to do the fist. Stand next to your table, and your fist has to touch the table. It should not be dangling. If it's dangling, then your body will have to go too low to work. Really bad for your low back. If it's too high up, if you have tilt in your wrist, you have it in your curriculum how to measure that, then your shoulder's going to be too up, right? So for you to have exactly precise size for your body and your height, you have to bring it straight, measure it properly, the fist has to touch it. Now you can work correctly, right? This is very important. In your course curriculum, you have actual video showing you how to measurement. I'm just telling you right now. Do you have the client to fill out? No, I don't have my clients. Thank you for a question. I don't know who asked it, but thank you. No, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't have it. I don't have it. You asked me, the question was, do you have it? I don't. But I've been doing it for 32 years, and I have all the clients that I know, but I don't take new clients. You go on the internet and print out the consent form for massage facial and make them sign. Yes, absolutely do. I don't have consent form. Lots of consent forms now you can find. They're digital. You don't even have to have a paper. They sign it straight and digital. And yes, have it. Now you have to understand that as a very cavalier, very eager, and very I do everything too much. It's just my personality. You know, I'm a Leo, and I'm like, I overdid a lot of things in my career. I over squeezed, I over pushed, I over drained, I over. So, and I overstressed, because every time you do something wrong, the next night I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to think about it until I hear from the client that everything is okay. I cannot come down. I'm not the person who can have done something wrong and maintain a regular life. I can't. I'm going to go crazy. How is she doing? I'm going to, you know, this facial I put together in a way you cannot really harm them if you try. Try it. Unless you're gonna over drain her, you're not going to harm her. So it's a very safe modality. It was very important for me knowing myself. However, still, as a new professional to this modality, have a consent form. Why not? It's not gonna hurt you, doesn't cost much, let them sign it. Why not? Right? So, lymphatic drainage, light hand, always, always. And then also, so remember one thing, girls, if you're ever gonna be confused, how do I do it, new modality, always move lymph fluid to the heart, right? If you work on the body, you're gonna work upwards. If you're gonna work on the face, chest, and neck, you're gonna work downwards. You're always moving toward heart when we do lymphatic drainage. That's gonna give you a good map, because if you will forget, what am I doing? How am I doing? Do I start here? Do I start there? Think, oh, all I'm trying to do is to move the flow to the heart. Where am I going? Do you know what I'm saying? And always, always we work bottom up when it comes to lymphatic. I had a client, was a couple of years ago, few years ago. I've never seen anything like this. She came to me, she had 2 balloons in here, like literally. And I was a little scared to ask what it was, because in my training, I never seen it. With my clients, I never seen it. But I kind of carefully, I said, oh, you hold a lot of fluid in here, just to be elegant. And she said, oh, you know what? Yes, you're right. I just had a lymphatic drainage and it happened to me after that, but I already looked better. It was worse. I'm like, what can be worse than that? It's like 2 boulders. I said, that can't be. It's impossible for lymphatic drainage to give you that. She says, no, that's what happened. But they told me it was normal and in a while it's going to go away. I said, are you sure you had lymphatic drainage? She said, yes. First, she pumped the forehead. And so what she did, girls, she started to do lymphatic drainage up, bottom, and she collected all her fluid in here because she didn't empty any passages first. So for you to move the fluid, you have to empty the space where you're going to send the fluid to. That's why we do first, right? We emptying, and fluid moves very slowly. It's fascinating. It's just moving fluid, and you feel it underneath your fingers. It's the most satisfying thing in the world when you're going to feel the fluid underneath your fingers. It's going to be your favorite thing to do. There are 2 favorite things for me to do. I will tell you right now. I adore doing lymphatic drainage and I adore doing buccal massage. Both of those modalities are extremely light on the esthetician body and they're very meditative. So every time you do lymphatic drainage and every time you do buccal massage, you heal yourself, because you need to connect with the client. Your hand has to be very light. You have to be very intuitive. Your attention and your intuition kicks in, and it becomes collaboration between you and your client that brings you beautiful result on the client's face and on her parasympathetic nervous system. But boy, it does wonders on you. And I'll tell you why. A, you're in meditative state. We're going to be talking about it next. You cannot think about anything else but her and what you're doing. It really relaxes you. And B, you see the on her face that she got rejuvenated, and the joy that you see from your work, it far exceeds the joy that she sees on her face. Because yeah, she looks younger, but you did it. It's like, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenally good, but it has to be done correctly to receive that, right? So going back to lymphatic, remember, we're always moving toward heart. We're always moving toward heart. Number 1, and you're going always from bottom up. Bottom up. If you are not going to empty her first, then you know what you're going to do? You're going to accumulate fluid on top of the clavicle. And that's what happened to that poor client of mine. And they told her it was normal. This is how her body responded. And practically it's her fault that her body is like inadequate, And I didn't tell her anything because I didn't want to upset her even more. She already had those 2 things there. But remember, you always have to empty before you send fluid anywhere, you have to make sure the place is empty, can receive the fluid and reduce the fluid. Has to receive the fluid and reduce the fluid. That's why breathing lymphatic is first. On the clavicle, over the clavicle, on the mandible. After we did lymphatic drainage and we reduce the fluid, the second thing we're going to do is we are going to work on the fibrotic stagnation in the soft and hard tissues. Now, let's address that. In the first week of learning, you're not going to be touching face at all, because if you are not going to prepare all the soft and hard tissues to receive the lift, Even if you're gonna do really great job working with soft tissues on the face is gonna fall right away. Why? Because, okay, let's say we do it the rows. We opening stagnation, we came here, this part is not open and ready to receive the lead. Everything is gonna back inwards. How do we age? We age inwards and down. The trajectory of aging is inwards and down. That's why you will see everything we do, we go against trajectory of aging and we always work outwards. But for you to work outwards and for your tissue, scalp is the most important thing in rejuvenation. To receive the lift, you have to have space. Now, our face has bone, we know about it. We talk about it, we will talk about it. We have bone, we have the deep fascia. Then we have subcutaneous fat, we have medial fascia. Then we have the muscle, we have the superficial fascia, and we have a skin. And skin itself has 3 layers. And upper part of the skin has another 7 layers. So as you see, everything is layered on the face. But the most important thing people don't talk about, the most important layer is space between them. If there is no space between the muscle fibers, if they're all collapsed, there's going to be no way for blood flow to go easily into those tissues. When you have impaired blood flow, you will always have blood flow, because if you don't have blood flow, you have gangrena. Everything's going to go black and hollow. But how much of blood flow? This is the most important thing for us. The blood, girls, is the only delivery vehicle that we have to our soft and hard tissues of oxygen and nutrients. If you have stuck tissue, you have no blood, no correct blood flow. Saying no blood flow would be wrong. You still don't have blood flow, but you don't have correct blood flow. Now, what happens when you don't have correct blood flow? The fibroses are there because usually there is an inflammation. You're going to hear this from me so much, you're going to get sick of it. Inflammation creates fibrosis. Fibrosis creates ptosis. Ptosis is fallen tissue. We're going to go through that all the time because I will be encouraging you not to use strong hand, especially in intraoral, because that creates inflammation. But right now we're talking about hard tissues. We're talking about bone, and we're talking about everything that's around that has fibrosis. What do we need to do? We need to unstagnate the layers that make our face. The first layer, the most important layer that makes our face is our bone, our skull. What happens with age? Not only on skull, like I think easiest thing to see, like girls 50 plus, you know what I'm talking about. The bone goes through resorption. It becomes thinner because bone, you know, like skin goes through disformation and reduces itself. And then in a basal layer, we have cells that restore the skin. Great. The bone goes through the same thing. With age, bone sheds itself, but it does not restore itself and it shrinks. Once bone is shrinking, all the other soft tissues are fallen on the bone like oversized sheets on a small mattress. Here we fall. And then if we collect lymphatic fluid and it gives heaviness to our face, and fluid drops the face down, and we already have subcutaneous fat migration, right? We cannot kill the fat, but we can have go through subcutaneous fat migration, and fat collects the fluid into itself, and you have dropped down face. So we have to understand all the processes of aging before we will be able to apply all the processes of anti-aging, so you understand what you're doing. It's easier that way. So after we did lymphatic fluid reduction from the face and the chest, everything goes towards heart. Remember that in lymphatic, and everything goes bottom up. You're gonna work on unstagnation of fibrotic tissue. Chest, ears, scalp. And you see how I do it in the videos. Now, our bone has something called piezoelectricity. Piezo, it's a Greek word for pressure. Pressure. That's why it's going to be the only time in entire facial, well, I will ask you to use strong hand. I want that pressure on the bone. Now, knowing me a little bit, and you will know me more over the course of the months, I'm very self-preservant and I'm very preservant of estheticians' body and estheticians' hands. I'm very careful with it. I don't love the fact that we have to work very hard on the epicranial. Please ask your clients to always massage their own epicranial aponeurosis. Explain to them that while they massage the epicranial, now we are not washing hair. We are applying the fingers melt into the bone, and we're moving our fingers against the bone, right, girls? This is not this. This is pressure and moving against the bone. We create piezoelectricity. Piezoelectricity creates fibroblast cells in the bone that is restorative for the bone, right? So if you're going to ask your clients, or do it on yourself, to consistently massage your own epicranial, you're going to prevent the shrinkage of the bone. You're going to send blood flow in there. You're going to create the space in there. You're going to unstagnate fibrosis in there. And you will see your face is actually going to look rejuvenated without anything else. You're still going to have the wrinkles you had. I'm not saying it's going to take the wrinkles away, but you're going to look younger. Why? Because you're going to bring blood in there. We lose a lot of blood flow, especially girls who are perimenopausal. So for everybody is a little different age, but this is when we age the most. There are two times in life that woman ages the most. One is pregnancy, and the other is menopause, perimenopause and menopause. And perimenopause and menopause, we don't have enough blood flow going into our brain. I researched the subject a lot, and there was a video actually by one of the biggest menopausal doctors. She said they did actually scan of the brain, and brain actually shrinks of perimenopausal women. Now, I've seen the scans, but I wasn't part of the research. I cannot 100% tell you that. I'm just translating what I've heard. But forgetfulness, brain fog, and all that, if you're in perimenopause, you've experienced it. Girls, epicranial aponeurosis massage is phenomenal. The reason we have all that is because we don't have enough blood flow into our brain. That's what gives us those folks. If you massage, but really like go in and go against the bone, is it clear how I'm showing you, girls? Do you see me well? Yeah, we are not washing. We're going in, we're working against the bone. We work in a deep tissue. When you unstagnate epicranial aponeurosis and you bring blood in there, A, you preserve the width of your scalp, you restore the width, and B, brain. Girls, on your own selves. I'm going through this right now. It's not pretty. It's extremely helpful to massage your own epicranial aponeurosis. And we really pay attention on that in our first part of the facial. We also work with occipital a lot because occipital hortalis, occipital muscle, is basically continuation of your face. And you really have to release stagnation in occipital to see lift on the face of the client and also around the ears. Now, when you're going to be working around the ears, you will see that in front, you're not going to have problem moving the tissues, but from the behind the ear, it's so much more stagnant. So stand up, go into face to stomach position. So face your client. You have it on the video. I'm just repeating what you already have on the video. I'm not telling you anything new. Work that way, girls. Otherwise, it's too hard for your hands. It does not worth it to break your hand. When you're going to be sending me videos, I'm going to be paying attention how you hold your fingers and how you hold your wrists. Everybody's hands are different. Some people have very long limbs. They apply fingers differently. I have medium-sized limbs. I apply fingers differently. People with short limbs apply. So I have heard that before, and that's the only reason I'm telling you that. People would write to me, why did you correct Jessica? Why did you correct me and you didn't correct Jessica while she does the same thing? She doesn't do the same thing. She has a very different hand structure. I have to take that into consideration. Everybody's body and hands are slightly different. So what works for one hand will not work on another. And I will be correcting you according to your structure. There is no cookie cutter. So do not be surprised if I corrected you and didn't correct Jessica. I have nothing against you. I'm not correcting you because I have beef with you. I'm correcting you because for your hand structure, if you're going to do this, it's going to hurt you. But for Jessica's hand structure, it's actually going to work. right? I just wanted to clear this before we get in there, so you won't have questions why she's after me and after her. I will be asking you sometimes, so the corrections come like this. Either, could you please correct it, but you don't need to resend me the video, which means that I know that it's so easy, you don't have to. Or I'll ask you to send me video again. And sometime I'll ask you that for a couple of times. Don't be upset with me. As soon as you're doing it correctly, I'll stop asking. If I'm asking you, it means we need to tweak. We need to fix. We need to. Now, because the chat is open for 4 months, let's say you're very busy, you cannot send me videos right now, anything can happen. Like, girls, last thing I want to do is put you under pressure or give you extra stress in your life. In fact, everything I want to do is relieve the pressure from you and take the stress away from your life. So if you cannot send me first week video, first week, it's okay, it's fine. You can send me next month if you want to. Just remember, unless I've seen it and corrected it, you're not going to be showcased. I'm not going to send you clients. Big part of this course is sending you clients, but unless I've seen every move, I cannot do it. Please understand me in that case. But I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to tell you you have to send me right now. But this month, you're my #1 priority. If you're going to send me video next month, I'm still going to look at it, but you're not going to be my #1 priority. Next month's course will be my #1 priority. So it might take a little longer for me to get back to you. If you need my utmost immediate attention, please ask me everything in the WhatsApp, because some girls like to send me separate messages in Instagram or via email. First of all, my emails, it's very rarely me who answers my emails. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I cannot do everything by myself. So I have a team who does it. Instagram, mostly me, but I don't jump on it. It's not something that is my priority. My priority is WhatsApp over current months, which means you. So if you need immediate attention, reach me there. If you're gonna send me separate message, I might not even open it. I might, it depends, because so many messages are coming. So many messages. But your chat is my #1 priority. You need anything, ask me there, you're gonna get very quick answer. Okay, so this was very important for me to tell you that. So going back to the first week of training, please don't run ahead. Don't try to work with face. Everything has to be prepared for your face to get relieved. And we need to concentrate on that right now. Lymphatic drainage, #1, light hand. Light, the lighter the better, light soft hand. Take a pillow, practice on a pillow. Do not remove both hands from your client, always maintain one hand on. LMTs have such an easier time doing that than estheticians, because you guys actually were looked after, and estheticians most of the time are not. So remember, both hands on. A lymphatic fluid always runs towards the heart. It will never change. Light hand. I know that I had a student who took a Boulder technique. And she said that he was saying it has to be like autumn leaf that touches you so light. And my grandmother, who was my main first teacher, was saying it has to be like a feather. So whether like a feather or autumn leaf, it doesn't matter. It has to be very light. We're working from bottom up. We start under clavicle, over clavicle, under the mandible. The face, we're gonna train separately. And then we're gonna go to unstagnation. Unstagnation or fibrosis, deeply removing. Every time you're going outwards with the hand, imagine that you're ripping the tissue paper. How would you rip the tissue paper? You're gonna go sidewards, not inwards, sidewards. The same thing in here, from the sidewards. Work with epicranial aponeurosis. Please don't overexceed 5 minutes. It's too much for your hands. Ask your clients to do it on herself. I'll tell you why. Because your client has only her to take care of, and you're gonna have 5 clients a day to take care of. So it's only fair for her to do it on herself. Next time when she's gonna come to you, she's gonna be very flexible, and you will be able to do it quickly and easily. It's very important. I will be looking for soft hands. And the exercise for this week is to train your fingertips. Train everything you touch. I want you to touch texture. As far as question goes, as I told you, tomorrow at about this time, I'm gonna start sending information. Oh, and the last thing. So first week of facial exercises have to be done by estheticians. We need it. If you have vertigo, be careful. Then forward moving hands, 8s moving forward, 8 moving backward to warm up your wrists and stretch your hands. Estheticians' hands have to be very flexible, and it's not always so. I want to tell you a very quick example. We're almost there, but I'm going to tell you that so it really will engrave it in your head. I had a student, her name is Ella Borado. She's still on my Instagram. She is on my Instagram, and she did in-person training, and we were doing the lymphatic drainage, and Ella couldn't figure out exactly how to use her hands. A phenomenal esthetician, talented girl, but this particular part didn't work. And I'm very patient usually, but I don't know what happened to me that day. I mean, it never happened since. I was like, Ella, you look like, you work like Pinocchio. Your hands are wooden. And she says, oh, I work like Pinocchio? And I say, yeah, you work like Pinocchio, they're wooden. She says, oh, I understand what you want. I'm like, what do I want? She says, you want Jessica Rabbit. And I was like, yeah, I want Jessica Rabbit. So every time you perform lymphatic drainage, think Jessica Rabbit. Very soft, very light, very sensual, very connected, very murmeow, however you want to call it. But don't do wooden hand. You're not going to achieve anything with wooden hands. Very soft hands. Take the pillow, push the pillow, feel every part of your hand when you push in pillow. Imagine you have a tube with the toothpaste on the sides, and you need to push the toothpaste out, and you will see you're going to push it that way, that way, that way. And that takes training. So please don't expect yourself to go and bam, go into it. Absolutely not. It takes years. Until today, I tried to perfect it, and it's been decades. So don't expect yourself to bam and learn it, right? Work on the pillow. Everything you touch, try to feel the texture, because once you're going to work with fluid, moving the fluid, very satisfying. You have to feel it. And you're not going to feel it if you're not trained. I promise you that. You have to be trained to feel it. So that only first part I need from you. I will send you sample how my other girls from previous trainings did it, so you could get accustomed with it. All the information going to be sent to you on the WhatsApp starting tomorrow. Today, please, I beg you, please. Don't put it to the long, do it as soon as you can. Write to me on Instagram and tell me I'm taking a current online course. Please send me a link. I'll send you a link. You have to push on that link. You're going to end up in that course. Without that WhatsApp, you're not going to have complete training. I promise you that. That WhatsApp is where we cook in everything, when we're training, when we're fixing, when we see other people doing it, when we see ourselves doing it, when you see me correcting other people, you get so much insight from that WhatsApp. Do not miss that opportunity. I know a lot of you will not join, but could you please give yourself that chance? Even if you're not active on the WhatsApp, let's say you don't want to send videos, still join it. Watch me work with other people. It's really going to prepare you for a good job. The quality of our work is absolutely everything. And integrity of every single move is what gives you final result. And that's why I want to see every single move. So we could maintain integrity of every single move. And that way, you're going to have a visible difference on the client's face. And hopefully, for me, because I have agenda for you guys, I hopefully it's going to amplify not only your skill, but also amplify your business, how many people you take a day, how many days a week you work, how you feel about yourself. Yesterday, one of the girls who took a previous course, she told me that she'd been doing this for decades. She said, Elena, you will not believe. It was the first time her client actually did video about other facial. She wasn't performing Helena Pahava. I think she was doing microdermabrasion or something. But she said it was the first time she did a whole video dedicated to me, how well I did it. And I've been doing it. You know what it is? It's the energy of her thinking about her skill, amplifying her skill, valuing herself as a professional, understanding how much she can offer, understanding how exclusive she is to the human race. Because I think we are the biggest gift to the human race. If you're a bad professional, no. But if you're a good professional who knows what she's doing, you can offer so much to people. She got it. She got it. And as I told you, 80% of our communication is non-verbal. She got her first client came out with the video just about her. She was overjoyed. And the first thing I told you, Lisa, now don't get scared. Keep going. Because you know what? That validation can get scary, believe it or not. And we have to keep going, and we have to solidify the fact that we have integrity in our hands, that we can offer them something nobody else can, and we're standing by the quality of our work. If you know that you're dedicated to the quality of your work, nothing can shake you, because the only thing that will really matter is the process. And if you trust the process, rewards such as financial reward, appreciation in the videos, form taking less clients because you can make your money from the less clients because your prices are higher. That's why. That's the only reason why. All that will come, but you have to trust the process. So hopefully you're going to go through this process with me this month. As I told you, you're the most important people in my life. I've asked you for 24 hours for response. Never takes as long, but I'm just securing myself in here. Please join me on the WhatsApp. This can change your life. I don't need to sell you anything, girls. I already sold to you. Guess what? All of you already paid. Ta-da! So I'm selling you nothing, but I know that we can change how you look at your work, how you look at yourself, how you look at your hands, how you look at your posture, how you look at everything. And for me, as I told you in the beginning, I love my in-person trainings. I love them, but online are my favorite ones because we are together for a whole month. I'm with you. Thank you so much. I should have said it in the beginning, but thank you so much for joining this course. I really, really appreciate it. Without you, everything that I stuck inside, I would have no outcome to give. Where can I find the WhatsApp? No. You're not going to find a WhatsApp. You have to write to me on Instagram, and I will send you the WhatsApp. Girls, you're not going to find WhatsApp. You're welcome, honey. You're not going to find nothing. You have to send me a message. Just say, hi, I'm in your current online class. That's all I'm asking from you. You don't even have to say anything else. Bam, I'll send you WhatsApp link right away. Please join me there. Starting tomorrow about 12 o'clock, I'm going to start sending you link, and we're going to go through this incredible process. And hopefully it's going to be very enriching for you. At least I'll work on it. I'll give you everything I got to change things to the better. And with each, I have to tell you that each course gives me something that changes me for the better. So I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful to you to join me in here. And I'll make sure that I'm going to give you value of your input and a little bit more, because this is how we work. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention. If you have any questions, write them down right now in a paper so you could bring them to me tomorrow in a WhatsApp, and I'm connecting with you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Kimmy, hi love.
Hi there.
I see you. Thank you.
Have an amazing day. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.